Have waves, currents, and water levels gotten any higher? Are there any new ways of travel which allow us to get to our destinations in a faster way? Climate change and technology are two of the main factors that are going to determine Australia's tourism industry over the next years. Contributing with $47 billion each year, the tourism industry represents over 3% of Australia's GDP, and it is expected to increase by 45% over the next 4 years. But how are technology and climate change going to impact the future of one of Australia's fastest growing industries? Let's find out.
Australia's tourism industry in 2027 has impact by high climate change and high technology could be present in the first scenario, War E. By 2037, the impacts of changing in climate become more visible, and the innovations supported with technology take domination in tourism industry. The tourism industry requires the large energy usage for transportation as well as providing the facilities and services to satisfy the highest tourist demands. It has become a major concern for tourism, especially with increasing the consideration of climate change and global warming. Augmented reality and virtual reality will be used to explore natural landmarks, attractive and lesser-known destinations in Australia, which are untouched, unique or risked by high climate change, such as Great Barrier Reef, Blue Mountain, or Uluru. By 2027, visitors have less personal interaction, since advances in the field of robotics allow Australian tourism to provide more consistent services such as cleaning, greeting guests, and security tasks. Furthermore, robotic technology provides a reliable source of labor during busy season, as well as it rotated into storage during the off-season conveniently. The large amount of CO2 has been releasing into atmosphere due to the consumption of fossil fuels since the revolution of tourism industry. More hotels, resorts, golf courses, and marinas are established to meet the massive tourist demand, leading to the destruction of ecosystem, biodiversity, traditional livelihoods, and the displacement of local communities.
Scenario 2, a trip to the moon. This is an outcome of high technology and low climate change. By 2037, the Australian tourism industry will be a world encouraging creation and technological advancement, with a great focus on keeping the Australian destination green, clean and attractive. We can expect efficient operations as a result of technology innovation. Technology will create a wider range of opportunities as well as environmental sustainability. Virtual reality is a popular device of the future, providing people with the opportunity to experience different destinations from local attractions such as Uluru and the Great Barrier Reef to international destinations such as the Eiffel Tower in London at an inexpensive cost and avoiding the long travel duration to get to the destination. Technology will also allow local Australian underwater accommodation, as well as the ability to travel and stay on the moon. Smartwatches will be very relevant, a great purpose for checking into flights. Artificial intelligence and increased social technology creations, which could lead to a decrease in business travel, therefore decreasing travel profit largely. A few other factors which could negatively impact the tourism industry is intrusion risk through cybercrime. This can be done through the smartwatches. also another negative factor is job loss and decrease in travel. The discovery of environmentally friendly power sources will decrease tax and penalties placed on air travel and public transport as a result of gas pollution. Additionally, technology will allow companies to go paperless, preventing harm to Australia's local nature. The environmentally friendly creations and reliance on technology is the main factor helping the sustainability of the climate and natural landmarks. In 2037, the Australian tourism industry will still be very relevant, but will have changed greatly, including the way in which businesses operate. Traditional tourism businesses may lose customers to other new and innovative businesses.
The future for the tourism industry in 2037, as impacted by high levels of climate change and low levels of technology influence, will give a negative impact, thus presenting the third scenario, the absolute zero. We can expect to find an environment which is highly impacted by climate change. In particular, popular natural Australian tourist attractions such as the Great Barrier Reef and Uluru. However, this cannot be combated due to a lack of technological advance, innovation and influence. This will therefore lead to the destruction of attractive natural tourist attractions, ultimately reducing international visitors, thus negatively impacting the tourism industry in Australia. Expanding upon this low technology development and innovation accompanied by high fluctuations of climate change will combat to create substantial havoc for the Australian tourism industry. As a result of low technology innovation, no further development will be conducted to combat the high degree of climate change in 2037. Hence, this will lead to a vicious cycle whereby causes of carbon emissions such as transportation and manufacturing industries will be unable to employ methods of reducing CO2 due to a lack of technology innovation, thus greater extending the impact of high climate change. Examples of what we can expect to see in 2037 include severe cyclones in national parks in areas such as Kakadu and Cairns, increased fire danger in the Blue Mountains, decreased snow coverages in areas such as the Victorian Alps, resulting in less area for leisure and sport activities such as skiing, and acts of coral bleaching to become a norm, thereby wiping out ecosystems such as sea life and their habitats.
The scenario 4 is long way round. In the next 20 years, low climate change and low technology will not make a large difference between now on tourism industry in Australia. When people choose somewhere to travel, they are not only concerned about the happiness in the tourism, but also pay more attention to the climate and the environment of the destination. People want to see local historical buildings and feel in nature. In 2037, Australia is still the preferred tourism destination and its climate is as mild as today. The nature attractions like Great Barrier Reef and beach will not change or disappear because of technology and climate. Beautiful historical buildings and vast nature landscapes still attract a large number of tourists. Travel the way and content in Australia is too single. That has been unable to keep up with tourism trends and technology trends. But at the same time, other countries have a large growth innovation. This will have led to the tourism industry in Australia have slow development. Australia is surrounded by the sea. The coastal areas of the pleasant climate, with the deterioration of the environment in other areas, more and more highlights the pleasant climate of Australia that will attract more people go to Australia to travel and enjoy life, which will drive the development of the Australian tourism industry. Australia has fresh air and plenty of greenery. Mild climate is suitable for people and animals to live, so many tourists like travel to Australia, feel nature and look animals, such as koala. As a result, low climate change and low technology will not make a large difference on tourism in Australia in 2037.
To have competitive advantage over the other countries, we have to take action. It is very important to preserve the environment. Therefore, decision-making needs to be linked to maintaining and improving the environment in time. Welcome and encourage innovation and technology. Share ideas. Spread awareness of the major uncertainties in the tourism industry. To keep Australia's tourism industry alive, research for growing trends and plan to adapt to them. Increase popularity and spending and reassess uncertainties over time, as the industry is always changing and different problems may occur.